Welcome once again, guys, to My Sports World, where we talk about everything 49ers and Manchester United, and soon to be joined in Memphis Grizzlies basketball in the NBA. Yes, Grizzlies is a part of this channel, and we are getting closer and closer to the new season. So once that is up and running, we will include what we can. But let's do some look ahead. This week is very, very important for both the 49ers and for Manchester United. Let's start off with looking ahead to the Sunday game for the 49ers against Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams won their first game last weekend. Both had, in fact, what I would call an impressive offense going on, and Eagles had a kind of a stout defense too. They were one of three teams last week that surprised me, that I did not expect to do that well. I had expected Eagles and the Houston Texans and Raiders to do really bad. All three surprised the shit out of me and went on to put on a show and put down a statement for anyone in the league to say, we are not going to be a pushover this year. And all three did. And Eagles had a pretty good performance against the Atlanta Falcons. So we are going to Philadelphia to play Eagles at home. Just got to get something out of my pocket. I forgot to put my earbuds on, so it's like a little bit. It creates a little echo in here. Let me see. Yeah, so they went to Atlanta and played the Falcons last week, and stomped Atlanta on offense and just shut them down on defense. So when we are going to Philadelphia this weekend to play them, we're going there with 3 injuries in our bag. Mostert is out for the year. He has to have some cartilage injury surgery in his knee, and an injury he had probably last year, and now has been confirmed he had during the OTA, minicamp, and preseason. So why they didn't just decide to just this has been going on for over a year. It's because cartilage injuries like that is not something that just poof shows up. And remember, he was out for 9 weeks last year with knee injuries, so there might be a correlation there. We also don't know if Greenlaw is coming back from his groin injury. Most likely that's a pulled muscle that normally that sidelines you for anywhere between 2 to 4 or 5 weeks, depending on how bad it is. So I don't know if he's ready. And then, of course, you have Jason Verrett, our cornerback, who is out for the season, has to have a torn ACL surgery, so he's not going to come back. So we have signed a few free agents and players that have been waived, and some been signing like 2 or 3 cornerbacks, I think, or something. And we signed a running back. I expect that Elijah Mitchell probably goes up as the this week. Elijah Mitchell probably becomes the first option on running back. It wouldn't surprise me if Jamal Hasty is the second option, and then they will include Trey Sermon. I expected Trey Sermon to play last week, and he didn't. To many people's surprise, because from what I have seen in the OTA and the minicamp and the preseason, he was a stout runner. So we have to see. You never know with Kyle Shanahan. He mixes and trickses and flips around with players. So it might end up with Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell getting the most reps. So we just have to wait and see. But either way, we have to, in this game against the Philadelphia Eagles, we do have to get the running game going. There is no chance. We saw what they did to Matt Ryan on Falcons last week. They shut down the QB from the get-go. Their pass rushers and their blitzing schemes are unbelievably fast and strong. And we showed last week that we have issues with teams that blitzes. We this has been a reoccurring theme for a few years. When teams blitzes us, it's almost like we don't know what to do. Robert Saleh at one point said that I think it was he who said it, that blitzes are very hard to plan for, and you see that it in every game. When a team starts to blitz, you have several blitz packages, and it's shown and proven that 49ers really struggle against blitzes. That's been known. And oh, my throat is sore. And it is a thing that we have to deal with, because last week there was you saw it, the Eagles blitzed Matt Ryan a lot, and their pass rushers and edge rushers was really on point last week. And looking at our game last week, we had a comfortable lead up until it was 3 or 4 minutes left of the game, where we gave up almost the whole lead, which was 24 points. So our defense needs to really step up big time this weekend. And our offensive line just have to start protecting better. I mean, what we saw last week gave us like positive vibes to go forward with. It's like, okay, this is good, this is promising. But at the same time, on a little bit later in the game, on another drive, you were like, what the heck are we doing? We can't do this. We're going to be run over by teams. And we saw that in the last quarter, fourth quarter, when the Lions, who is being told by most people to be like, or being talked about as maybe a team that is going to end up somewhere in between 20 and 32, and not being that great. They probably won't reach any playoffs. They're going to have a struggle having a winning record. So when we got at the end thumped by the Lions, it showed us that our defense, if our mind slips us, our defense is not that great. And that's one of the things that we've been talking about. Well, most pundits and media people and sports analytics have talked about that the 49ers defense is so solid and so good and so nasty. I didn't see that in the Detroit Lions game. It was good in parts and bits and pieces here and there, and they had some good, really good things going on. They had a pick 6 interception with Greenlaw, who got hurt on that play, and they had a lot of 3 and outs. But then again, you had moments. You had 3 or 4 moments, and one of them was at the end of the game for a good 3 or 4 minutes where we sucked, and we let Detroit Lions back into the game, and they could have, in fact, with a little bit of luck, won the game. And we had a 24-point lead. So when we now go to Philadelphia to play the Eagles, we have to show up with a totally different mentality. We have to, on defense, we have to shut down the Eagles. We just have to. There's no chance. Because I tell you, Eagles are not Lions. They have a better running game than the Lions. I want to say they have way better players at wide receiver spots and points. So the only question mark with the Eagles is probably Jalen Hurts. How good is he? He was good against the Falcons, but how consistent can he be game after game, game after game, and when he faces different opponents and different defenses? I'm going to say this too. Our defense is way, way better than the Falcons' defense. But still, what I saw from the Eagles are a little bit worrying when I saw what I saw from our defense and our offense. I want to say that last week, the one thing that really surprised me last week with us was Jimmy Garoppolo. He played really good. He looked to have confidence. He did things that he normally don't do during a season. You know, Jimmy G or Jimmy Garoppolo on a normal game would check down and do the 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20-yard passes up in the middle. Rarely do you see Jimmy Garoppolo go 25, 30, 40, 50 yards passes outside the numbers down the sideline, which he did, and one of them resulted with a Deebo Samuel touchdown. So what I saw from Jimmy was very encouraging. If he can keep it going like that, I think there's good things coming. We don't necessarily rely on Trey Lance this year, but he can come in and do packages. But I think we have to have a little bit more expectations from the O-line, and we have to demand more from the defense. They have to be on tap. Like, they can't just relax and lose their focus and confidence in doing what they're doing the best, and that's shutting teams down. And that didn't happen against the Lions in the last half, the last quarter, and the last 5 minutes of the game. It almost looked like we took the victory for granted when there was 4 minutes left and we led with 24 points. And then they scored a quick touchdown, and all of a sudden it was 17 points. But the alarm bells didn't go off because it's like, okay, there's 2.5 minutes left. We have 17 points lead. And then, boom, another touchdown from them because we fumbled the ball. And then the panic kicked in. And I tell you, it was close. So, underestimating our team and then getting a panic attack when things doesn't go your way, not a good combination, Shanahan. So, please tell your players to stay focused for full quarters. A game is not played by 3.5 quarters. You have to play all 4 quarters until the referee and the clock is 0 and the referee blows his whistle. So that has to be done. Come on. My prediction for the Eagles 49ers game on Sunday. It's a late slate, I think. I'm not sure. I don't think they're playing 1 o'clock this Sunday. So that might help a little bit. I think it's 4:25 they play. I have to check it up, but I'm not sure. But I think it's 4:25. My prediction: it's gonna be a tight game, very tight game. Both team has good defenses. Don't get me wrong, and both team has good offenses. It all comes down to who can stay cool the best, and who can stay focused the best. Who can avoid more injuries. I don't know if the Eagles got any injuries last week. And you have to remember, Mosley is not playing for us either yet. So our cornerback positions is a little bit iffy right now. But yeah, I'm not going to be bold. I'm going to say that we're going to go and win. I don't know if that's what the football world is expecting right now because of what happened in the game. Looking at what happened in Atlanta, between Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles, and you look at what happened to the Detroit Lions and the 49ers, I think that most pundits and most media people and most bookkeepers will probably say that there's a bigger chance for Eagles to win by a field goal or a touchdown than the other way around. I'm going to be hopeful and positive and go with a 10-point win for the 49ers. I don't think it will be a high-scoring game. You're not going to see us scoring over 40 points like we did against the Detroit Lions. The score line will be somewhere around, I'm guessing that if we win with 10 points, I say we win 24-14. That will give us 3 touchdowns and a field goal. And and it will give the Eagles 2 touchdowns. I think they have 2 touchdowns in them against us. I'm not sure if it. The thing was last week. The thing that really bugged me the most with our defense, it wasn't so much the throwing, because we played against Jared Goff, and his throwing can be iffy at most points. Sometimes he throws a good, and he has 2 or 3 good throws in the game, and he had them at the end of the game. But we saw when they were running the ball with T.J. Hawkinson and the other ones, when they were Swift, when they were running through our middle, we never let people run up the middle. And we did in this game against the Lions. Swift had a field day. He was having a picnic out there. So we never let people run up in the middle to gain like 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 yards. That's unheard of the last 2 or 3 years. Even last year, with all the injuries we had had 12 people out on both offense and defense. Even then, we shut the running game down for most teams. And here comes the Lions and run up our middle 10, 15, 20 yards. Like they did it repeatedly. And knowing that the Eagles now, where we're going to meet now on Sunday, are having a very, very strong, big runner in Sanders, I am a little bit worried about that. So I think their 2 touchdowns will be a split. They will have 1 running touchdown, Sanders, and they will have a throwing touchdown, Jalen Hurts, probably to Rager. I think Rager showed good promises this last week. I haven't seen too much of him in the past. Wasn't he with the Raiders for a few years? And did like okay. But I think he played good last week with the Eagles. And he scored a touchdown, I think, last week. So look out for Sanders and Rager and Jalen Hurts. Those 3 guys on the offense is 3 guys you have to neutralize. And look out for their pass rushers and edge rushers on defense. They can make Jimmy Garoppolo's life a living hell in this game. They did with Matt Ryan. They sacked Matt Ryan repeatedly last week. It was crazy to see how easy they got through the offensive line of the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm not sure how much better our O-line is. I think our O-line, offensive line, is no better than Atlanta's. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm gonna go with the thing that we're gonna win 24-14, a 10-point win. Cross our fingers, guys. So until next time, I'll probably make 1 or 2 more videos before the game, and then make a video on the game day. I'm gonna start up a new thing called the Pulse. I'm gonna take the pulse of the game right before game start. So stay tuned, guys. Until next time, take care. And there's another video coming up after this one that I'm going to make right after this one about Manchester United and their game on Sunday. So tune in.